It is officially 2020, so you know what that means. It's time for our most anticipated movies of 2020 list here on Movie Talk. Get ready for all the hot stuff coming your way this new year. Hello and welcome back to Collider Movie Talk for 2020. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day celebrating today. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve last night. We, of course, cannot kick off the new year with anything other than our most anticipated movies of the year list, and I'm going to have the pleasure of talking to Dorina and Steve about that today. The pressure's on, guys. Steve especially. This is set in stone for the rest of your life. These 3 movies will follow you around forever.
I'm ready.
I am also ready.
Okay, I like the confidence here.
And since we are in the future, I would like to say that I'm probably hungover. But Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, I think we're all feeling your pain a little bit right now. All right, so we each picked 3. I think we could each pick many more than 3, but we don't want to be here for hours and hours and hours on New Year's Day. So here we go. Steve, I am going to put you out there first. Pick one of your titles to share with the audience.
Absolutely, New Mutants. I'm just joking.
I want to see it.
Don't joke, because I was actually semi-tempted to put it in the list just because I've grown more and more curious over the years.
Look, I'm joking around about New Mutants, but because who knows if it's even going to be released.
Yeah, that's good point.
I personally think that we will never see this film.
Aww.
I think it's going to be pulled from the schedule, and so anyway, but I was joking about New Mutants. I really don't think it ever sees the light of day.
You really think it's going to get pulled?
Yeah, I 100% think it's going to be pulled, and they're just going to lose it because the title is so. The New Mutants is a great franchise for Marvel for the future now that they have it back. And if you release this movie, you are putting out a New Mutants movie with this cast, these characters, and then you can't get it back to do what Kevin Feige might want to do with it down the road.
That's a lot of money to put in the trash.
But it's already been 60 to 100 million. But in the scheme of things, it's like,
no, I hear you, and it's possible. But I feel like with the cast as well, it's such a great cast that I feel like they've released so many crappy movies before. Why wouldn't they just try to make some money off of this?
Or just like drop it on Hulu or something.
Exactly, like streaming.
I think that if anything, it can be a Hulu premiere. Won't be on Disney Plus. But I think it's stronger for the brand to actually just dump the movie and start again. But so enough about my New Mutants thing.
All right.
My number 1 movie has to be Tenet. Christopher Nolan's Tenet.
I can't believe you didn't watch the trailer for it. How did you hold yourself back?
Is it because you'd want to go in completely blind?
I think that, listen, it's Nolan makes these masterful, when he's making a movie like this, I mean, I think Interstellar, Inception, The Prestige, he's made some movies that I absolutely love. And no one, I mean, he's one of the few filmmakers that can get 200 million and make an original film. And I mean, I'm so anticipating it. And the problem with the marketing is, and you guys are smart movie fans, everyone out there is a smart movie fan. These trailers are designed for people that go to the movies twice a year. Mm-hmm. All of us, we learn too much from these trailers. And I have this memory where if I see a frame in a trailer, I will always be waiting to see it in the movie. And so if I can avoid the trailer, I can enjoy the movie that much more.
I appreciate you calling us smart movie fans, but I at least am a smart movie fan with no willpower whatsoever. So I will always watch the trailers.
And I am a dumb movie fangirl, so I watch the crap out of that Taylor.
Dorina, what's your first pick?
Dune. I am dying to see this movie. I am a huge fan of Denis, as all of us smart or dumb fans of film are.
It's
that was
New
a
Year's
mouthful.
Day. You're allowed that.
I'm so tired. But I think Denis is one of the craziest, most amazing, talented directors out there right now. And I'm very sad that as much as I still think the original Blade Runner is greater than the sequel, I think the sequel is groundbreaking in how it looks. And so I cannot wait what he does with the world of Dune, which is a franchise that I grew up loving. I didn't hate the David Lynch movie like everyone did. I think it's fun, it's silly, but I'm excited to see a serious, kind of crazy cinematic take on this. Also, Hans Zimmer is the freaking composer, and it's similar to Blade Runner 2049. 2049 with Benjamin Wallfish, so I'm very excited about that. And the cast is crazy. Everybody is in this
Cast is
movie.
so good.
Even like Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet, everybody's in this. Yeah, very excited.
I am curious though, what do you think this movie's chances are to actually, kind of capture the general movie-going public and not super intense fans of the source material?
Well, I'm kind of sad because I hope that what happened to Blade Runner 2049 doesn't happen to Dune.
There's no chance that that's going to happen. I think that the problem with Blade Runner 2049 is that everyone knew it was a sequel.
Right.
And the problem is that a lot of people haven't seen Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of your brain, it's hard to go see a sequel to a movie when you've never seen the original. So the deck is kind of stacked. The thing about Dune is it's not a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a remake, but it's a new version. Mm-hmm. You have this insane cast. You're going to have crazy visuals. It's going to probably be reviewed. I mean, if it delivers the goods, it's going to have incredible reviews, the most insane cast, and it's the first of a planned maybe trilogy. I think that the chances for this movie to do well are high.
I really hope so.
And
It's
then
also
some, more than just on the big screen.
And I hope it's also coming out, I believe, at the end of the year. So that's more promising, especially for Oscar season and all of that. So that's why I hope it does well. But I'm dying to see this movie. I want it now. Like there's no other movie that I've been this excited about since they announced it, especially with the director and the team.
I love hearing that enthusiasm. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just, how obsessed I am with box office, so I always get very concerned, especially with a filmmaker that I admire like Denis. I want his work to get out there and to be so widely accepted. So I hope they manage to break through with this and actually, make the big bucks for him because he deserves it.
I really have a lot of confidence in this because it's going to look and feel and sound unlike anything else out there. Mm-hmm. It's going to be original. It's going to be huge. And I really think that come December when it's released, I really have a lot of faith in it, especially if it's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also, there's so many reboots and reimagined, franchises out there. But I feel like with Dune, it's been so long now that it's time. The similar thing goes with Blade Runner, but you're right that it's not. It's just not as it's a cult classic more so. Whereas Dune, you have the books and you have the franchise world. So hopefully, you're right.
It also has something that you can't underemphasize, which is the title. Dune. It's 4 letters. It's 1 word. It's cool. And there's going to be a ton of people that are going to go see this movie that have no idea that there was a movie made by David Lynch.
Right.
They're going to have no idea that it's based on source material. They're just going to, see this cast and say,
That's the hope too. And when you look at that cast, I feel like there's something for every single demographic too. I mean, maybe I'm stopping short of calling this a 4-quadrant film because I don't think it's family friendly for the super little ones out there. But I really do think that there is someone that just about everyone out there in that cast that they're going to say, I love that person, so I'm going to see their movie no matter what it is. So
every superhero is in this movie. Everybody's in this movie. Jason Momoa, Zendaya, like everybody. It's crazy. So they bring people to movies. That cast.
I'm telling you.
You gave me a good transition there because here's another movie that like everyone's in, or at least has a pretty epic ensemble. It's Birds of Prey. I am so thrilled about that movie. I love that ensemble. Everything we've seen so far has looked so badass, colorful, fun. It's got so much energy to it. That's kind of what I'm hoping for in the full feature now. Just kicking off the year, because this is a February release, with something that's a blast, that has that infectious energy. And I just love seeing projects where a big star like Margot Robbie, she's not even just like the star. She's not just the headliner of the movie. She's been working on that as a producer. She kind of spearheaded that whole initiative. She wanted Harley Quinn to get her own story. And when someone like Margot Robbie believes in a project like that, I'm going to get behind it too. So I want great success for everyone involved, and I want to have so much fun with that movie.
I agree. I actually, out of as much as I'm excited for other superhero movies next year, like Wonder Woman, obviously, 1984, this is probably the one I'm most excited about, because it seems like if DC and Warner Brothers keep doing this, where they don't really care about connecting their films and they're just doing a quality original film, this has a great opportunity to do that. Especially, like, I love the trailer. I think it looks crazy, and it looks shit crazy is what I should say.
I feel like the more batshit crazy that movie goes, the better.
Agreed.
What do you think, Steve?
I'm really excited for it. At CCXP, I guess a week or two ago.
Brazil.
I saw the opening of the movie. So they showed the first want to say the first 8 or 10 minutes. I don't remember what it was, but what you were saying earlier, which is it looks different than everything else in terms of the colors, in terms of just everything. And it looked like it was having a lot of fun, and I'm really optimistic that they can deliver. And I like the whole cast, and Ewan McGregor, like he just looked awesome.
He really does look like a badass.
Yeah,
That's one heck of a character poster.
Yes.
All right. You already brought up Wonder Woman 1984
Yeah.
briefly, so I feel like that's the perfect tee up for you, Steve.
I was gonna
hey,
say,
what's your next movie?
Exactly. It's Wonder Woman 1984. I couldn't be more excited for this sequel. I think that all the I really dug the first movie with a terrible third act. I hated the CGI villain, and I think that if that CGI villain had not been in it, the movie would have just been unbelievable. I'm very optimistic that there's no CGI villain in this one. At CCXP, speaking of that con, they showed us the extended trailer, so I got to see a minute more of footage than what you guys have seen. And the minute they showed us was all action. And the action we saw was so awesome. Like, I just want to tee up one little sequence, which was, remember when there's the tank scene and she's going, like there's Chris Pine is driving. She's jumping what appears to be from his car past the tanks, and this guy in front is firing this like hard cannon bullet thing.
Okay.
And the bullet's going and it goes flying by her. And as she's in air, she watches the bullet go and she uses the lasso to swing back and catches the bullet like right before it hits like the windshield of the car. Like that's some of the kind of the stuff that they showed us. Or there was more.
You just almost made me sing the theme. I was like,
oh, it was awesome. And then there was more with them going after Pedro's character. Like, it was just, the footage was fantastic, and I'm just so excited for what they're cooking up.
Yeah, I really want to see them keep the bar just as high and probably go a little beyond that, because I'm with both of you. I really loved Wonder Woman, the first movie, but that third act was a swing and a miss for me. But I got a lot of faith in this one, and I really just applaud any kind of, franchise or series within a franchise that makes a movie one way and then takes a step in a different direction in order to build that franchise, build that character. I feel like going to the 80s and really embracing that vibe is one of the smartest moves they can make, and I don't know, hopefully she sees it through to fruition in a really great way. But I want to know more about Pedro's character so badly. I want to know more about how Chris Pine comes back. I want to see Kristen Wiig in action. So we have seen so little of her thus far, but I'm cool with what I've gotten so far. So I want to see her go big.
yeah.
Sure. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, but like, I don't know if we want to do spoilers or not, but like the reason I don't watch marketing is I try not to watch a lot of trailers unless I have to. I watched that Wonder Woman trailer, 1984, the 3.5 minute version that I saw in Brazil. And I think I pretty much put the movie together from that footage. And it's like, that's what I'm trying to say about why I don't want to watch the Tenet trailer.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put the movie together and I'll freely tell you what I think happens based purely on the trailer, but I think I'm going to be right. So I don't know if you want me to
And that's, I'm with you. That's why I watch trailers like once, and then because I don't want to be spoiled and I want to enjoy, especially the big cinematic sequences. I want to see that for the first time on the big screen, right? So I don't want to know. Do not tell me. You can tell Perri after the show.
Good for you guys.
Oh, good for you.
Like, I'm the exact opposite.
No.
I will watch it because it's not even just about the excitement for a movie. It is a lot that, but I also just I have such a great appreciation for someone who can cut a very effective trailer.
Totally.
Whether it's a trailer that has a lengthy scene.
Wait. If you have a $150 to $200 million budget and you cannot cut a fantastic looking trailer, you have a real problem.
But that's like saying someone who can read sheet music can just, improvise music. It's a feeling. Like, have you ever cut something to the beat of the music? It's like this instinctual feeling that you can't explain or write out instructions to on a piece of paper that just feels right.
Especially if you're editing to New Order's Blue Monday, because that was an excellent remix. Whoever did that, really well done. That got me super excited for the movie. As much as we're kind of a little bit tired of superhero movies, I really hope, because I completely agree with you guys, Wonder Woman was mostly amazing. Little crappy at the end, but this could be the Winter Soldier of DC, right? Like this could be like what it looks more fun than Winter Soldier, but Winter Soldier, I feel like it's one of the better sequels in
Winter Soldier is amazing.
Any superhero franchise ever, right?
totally
So
agree.
that's what I'm hoping for in this case. And you got everything you need. You got the cast, you got the 80s, like you got nothing to lose. So I'm excited. Do not tell me anything, Steve.
I will tell Perri off camera after this.
Please do.
But
I'm curious.
But look, I agree with you. It is an art form cutting a well-cut trailer, and the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer is phenomenal.
It really
and
is.
the longer, as I don't mean to beat on this, but the longer version is even better. But I'm just saying, when you have a lot of visuals to work with, you can, and you have a song. It's it's a lot different than when you're cutting a movie for a $5 million movie. It's just, you don't have as much to work with in terms of the spectacle.
Maybe you don't have as much spectacle to work with, but do you have so many like corporate overlords to listen to that are like picking apart your edit? I don't know. There's probably ups and downs on both sides of it.
That's true. Yeah, there's always the corporate overlords
Is
ruining
there really?
everything.
What's your number thing? Number two.
Mine is actually, I wanted to pick something from the horror category, and so I'm really excited about Candyman, which I know Perri is too.
I am very excited about Candyman. So I was so happy when I saw your list because I wanted to include a couple more horror items on the list, and I felt really bad about not picking Candyman, but you got it covered.
Oh, good. See, I got you. Candyman is what actually my favorite, other than Suspiria, it's my favorite horror score ever by Philip Glass.
Yep.
And I feel like with the Suspiria remake, which I loved, shockingly, I was very shocked by how much I loved it. I'm very excited to see if they can do the same thing with this, where they can upgrade it to the modern era and also add new story elements that were crazy. Whatever they did with Suspiria is amazing. You guys need to watch it if you haven't. But Jordan Peele's involved, right? He's producing the movie, so there's no way it's going to be bad. The director is already great. I don't know if you guys saw her movie Little Woods, I believe, from early this year or last year.
That's one of the ones that I missed that's sitting at the top of my my to watch pile right now.
Well, her name is Nia, I believe. Nia DaCosta is the director. And additionally, you got also Tony Todd is apparently coming back. So that's awesome.
Tony Todd is one of the greatest human beings on this planet.
Agreed.
He's a horror lover that loves cats, and I'm pretty sure all three of us can applaud that.
Agreed. Yes.
It
No
also-
Are you a
comment.
cat person too?
No, I don't know anything about cats.
Oh my
well, you
God.
should watch
I
the
don't know
movie.
if we're going to get through the rest of this show because you've brought up cats to Steve.
No,
Meow.
I don't know. I don't have any cats.
I think you should watch it.
Wait, can I seriously want to sing his praises for just a couple of seconds here. He is one of the best cat owners, and like, I guess you foster cats too, but he's got this incredible backyard where you have a heated house and you're always looking out for the cats.
The heated house doesn't actually work anymore.
He has so many cats that like are his own cats, but all the strays that run around and need food and need love and need care, like Steve is always looking out for them, and I will never stop applauding you for that.
I did not know you were a cat person. You are my new BFF.
I
Very
love
happy
this
about that.
movie talk, bringing
Yes.
people together.
Speaking of
Mostly cats, but you know.
Speaking of, actually, I'll do a plug. Perhaps there are 2 kittens that are being fostered right now at our place. So if anyone is watching who would be a loving family for 2 cats, please let us know.
If you're in
There
the
you go.
LA area, hit Steve
Yes,
up on what's
exactly.
your Twitter handle?
Collider Frosty.
Okay, so write that down and give a cat a home. All right, my pick. I'm staying in the horror genre. I'm
Yes.
going with Antlers. I'm so excited for Antlers. And you know what? I've watched every single trailer for it. And I'm pretty sure the trailers for Antlers have not given away anything major, but they keep inching forward with information little by little. And this last one really just gripped me. It looks so atmospheric and terrifying. And I could not love the team involved in this movie any more than I do. You have Scott Cooper directing, but one of my favorite things about this is Nick Antosco, who's responsible for doing the Channel Zero series that I love so much. He's a writer on it. Of course, we have Guillermo del Toro involved. It stars Kerry Russell. I'm freaking out over this movie. I really do have the highest hopes for it. And please let it be one of my favorite horror movies of 2020. Now I feel bad going in with such high expectations, but with an A+ team like that, how can you not?
Agreed.
If I had heard any buzz, I would say that the buzz is quite good on it.
If you have heard any
If I
buzz.
hypothetically
Steve,
heard
you
anything
just,
about it.
You just spoiled
Steve.
the bus to me, Steve. You just spoiled it. No, I'm
What?
kidding. No,
I was going to be like, but it's all-
I know that tone.
is all
You kicked
hypothetical.
off my 2020 on a high note.
But
I'm
you know
so
what?
excited.
I feel like it could be really good because we horror fans have been so blessed the last couple of years because this genre, I mean, how many amazing horror movies did we get this year, last year? I think this is going to be great. And so is Candyman. I'm very excited about this.
I cannot wait. All right. We do have 3 more movies to get to, but before we go on over there, I got to tell you about some cool stuff coming your way on the Collider Video YouTube channel, or maybe stuff that's already available to you right now, like a whole bunch of episodes of Mailbag. Here's a promo.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
On top of all of that, guess what? Movie Talk is coming back live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. PT. And on top of that, you're also going to get a very special episode of Collider Jedi Council. They are breaking down the entire season of The Mandalorian. So you do not want to miss that on the Collider Video YouTube channel. All right. We have one more round to do around the table. Steve, what's your last pick?
This is a real debate, and I want to stress that there is a lot of movies coming out in 2020 that I could not wait to see. And ultimately, I ended up picking Free Guy, which is the Ryan Reynolds film, directed by Sean Levy. I don't know if I can say that. Fuck it. Sorry. No. I was thinking about if I could say something, and maybe we'll edit that. But I got to do a set visit on this movie.
Cool.
And what I saw, what I know, what I saw in Brazil at CCXP leads me to believe that this is going to be something really special and super original and fun. And for people that have not seen the trailer, Ryan Reynolds is basically in an open world video game that realizes that he can change his life. And it's like, imagine the bank teller in Grand Theft Auto all of a sudden realizes that he can do things.
What a clever concept.
It really is.
It
We
seems so
haven't
smart.
seen as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty
It's
unique, original idea.
And that's the other
exciting.
thing. It's coming out for July 4th weekend. It is really hard to make a big budget original movie like this. It's just hard nowadays. But Ryan, what I've seen is very funny and massive and fun. And I think we all know what, the great thing about it coming out now is we all know what an open world video game is.
My mom might not.
But they can advertise it, but basically also all the Grand Theft Auto fans, all the video game fans, they all know, and there are things in this that video game fans will really appreciate. Anyway, I couldn't be more excited for it. But man, it was tough to pick this one. There's just a lot of movies this year.
I just like hearing you describe it or thinking that it's going to be a very original feeling movie, and also saying it's going to be fun, because that time of year with Ryan Reynolds in the lead with this concept, that's exactly what you want. I mean, we can probably apply the term 4 quadrant to this one. I don't know. I think this could be one of the big surprise hits of next year. And
I hope it is. I agree, especially because we are talking a lot about franchise movies, and it's nice to get excited about something that's an original concept. So,
and when the people involved, like Sean's resume, just to me proves that he can kind of, find gold in a concept like this in the middle of the summer. It's just with his body of work, he captures the imagination of such a wide audience all the time.
So we should point out, if people don't realize Sean's name, he did Real Steel. He's done a ton of movies, but mostly recently he's been doing Stranger Things.
Yes.
He does 2 episodes a year on Stranger Things. He's the one who brought it to Netflix. His company, 21 Laps. So he's been doing that every year.
I feel like I would connect the dots most strongly, because why I brought that up was specifically Real Steel. It's like when you look at the charm and the appeal that movie has and how well he works in the world building. I mean, it's just such a cool concept that you kind of want to play along with as it's playing out. I love it. All right, what's your last one, Dorina?
Well, I'm bringing it back to franchises because I cannot forget about one of my favorite franchises of all time, and that is Bill and Ted Face the Music. I cannot wait for this movie. This is one of the happiest news items I've ever heard. Like, when somebody brings back a reboot, I'm just like, really? They're doing that? This made me super happy. This is, I think, the movie that the world needs right now, because I hope that they keep with the theme of being excellent to each other, and Keanu, and to see both Bill and Ted back. Also, because their kids are supposed to be in this movie. I am in love with, I have a crush on that girl. What's her name?
Samara Weaving.
She's supposed to be in this movie too. It's directed, I believe, by the same guy who did Galaxy Quest. So there's no way this movie's going to be bad. So I'm very excited. If only they could bring back George Carlin, then they would be perfect.
Sam Weaving has me super pumped because if you look at every single thing she's done, she's just got this like infectious kind of humor, and it just seems like such a perfect pairing to put her in that world. So I'm excited I really do think it's only a matter of time. Not that she already isn't a familiar name, but it's only a matter of time before she like blows up in Hollywood.
Agree.
She's going to be one of the biggest stars like we see in the next decade.
I feel like this was the year of Florence Pugh, and maybe next year's going to be Samara Weaving.
Even this year, though, was kind of
she was great, but everybody's
she had Ready or Not,
yeah.
and it's not even just Bill and Ted. Next year, I believe Guns Akimbo is also coming out. You know, that's not really going to make wide release waves, but when you see her in that, you're just going to be like, you are nuts, and I love you.
She's really great. She's also really good in Babysitter. If you guys
too.
have not checked that out,
Available on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I think a sequel is being made to that.
I think you're right.
I'm pretty confident, actually.
All right. One more to go. Hey, guess what? I'm sticking in the horror genre. I have to say Halloween Kills. I'm so curious. So
I'm shocked by your pick.
I know, really.
Shocked.
We all
Everybody
are.
knows how big of a fan of the 2018 Halloween movie I am because, I mean, you just expressed a similar sentiment. I was really nervous about that coming back. I don't know if I wanted another one. And then when I saw what I got, it's one of those things that I think holds tight to what made me love the Halloween film franchise from the very beginning, but it takes just enough of a step forward. It adds just the right new characters around Laurie Strode. And it really just, like, it struck a very special chord with me. It was one of my favorite scores of that year. It had some of my favorite set pieces. And I think
which
it
we
left
got
off.
to see live.
Blows my mind. That night, I feel like I almost didn't walk out of that building. Just to hear the original Halloween score perfectly blend into the 2018 version, and I'm so glad I captured it all in video because if you only knew how many times I've watched that since we were there.
No, I thought that was a very happy to see John Carpenter live with Perri there.
Oh my God.
Very happy moment.
But I am curious about where they're going to go with the story because I feel like the 2018 version had a nice sense of finality to it, but I can see little bits about, how they could maybe expand those characters even more, especially with the younger generations that we hadn't known before. So I am rooting for them to nail this sequel script.
How do you feel, Steve? I feel like I didn't love the movie like you did, but I loved everything to do with Laurie's character. So that's what I'm hoping they emphasize more. I'm not sure. I have no idea what the movie's going to be about, but it's clearly could be good. And if we get John Carpenter and his son to do more music, I'm happy.
I am not as much of a horror fan as you guys.
Right.
I thought Halloween was very, very well done. And I believe that David Gordon Green is a really talented filmmaker. Danny McBride's involved in this. Like, I mean, my thing is that they did a great job with Halloween. And if you do a great job, you should, if you want to make a sequel, get rewarded to make a sequel.
Right.
They planned out, obviously, movie 2 and movie 3. And I would like to think that, listen, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that movie 2 is going to probably end on a cliffhanger and go into movie 3. But I firmly believe that these movies are going to be good just because they did such a great job with Halloween in 2018. I'm really enthusiastic.
Yeah.
It really does make me feel good when you have faith in a movie that I'm excited about.
I mean, it could have been horrible and it was not. So that's always nice.
David Gordon Green is a really good filmmaker.
Yeah. But we were talking about, corporate overlords. And
See, but you know what the secret is? They made Halloween for like $5 million or something super cheap.
It's the budget.
And when you have such a limited budget, you get to do whatever the hell you want because there's no Universal is not sitting over them watching because for $5 million, and then if they spend 20 to market it, it's nothing.
And it's the Blumhouse approach. It's a Blumhouse movie.
Exactly.
And whenever you look at some of the higher ups that are involved in overseeing the making of this movie, those are all horror fans, to their core. They believe in these brands and they really genuinely, I'm not saying anybody out there working on a different one didn't genuinely want to make a good movie, but I don't know, they just have some folks over there that really understand the genre to the deepest extent, and it always gives me faith on things that they're working on.
Agreed.
Also, Ryan Turek is over there. And
Exactly.
he is he's the linchpin, I believe, on the Halloween movies, and he is a super fan and very smart and used to run a horror website, and he made the transition. And
even made that cool event slashback video that I loved.
Listen, Ryan's a really smart guy, and there's no way he's going to screw it up. Like, I have to believe that these next 2 sequels are going to be good. Just, and again, they're doing the same model. It's like being made limited budget, complete freedom.
All right. Before we move on to some Twitter questions, which we collected from you guys, I'll give you quickly the opportunity. Is there anything you didn't mention that you want to shout out right now?
100%.
I know you have a list.
Yeah, I have a list. So I feel like I'm at the Oscars.
You made a real paper list, not on your phone. Look at you.
Yeah, exactly. I have to bring up Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
I have seen the trailer to that, and I know an awful lot about this movie and some of the things that they did in terms of stunts. And the thing that has blown me away about the footage is just how real it looks, and not the quick cuts like in Six Underground, Michael Bay's movie, where it's like, I don't even know where I am. Top Gun is long cuts, Tom Cruise really flying. The cinematography looks insane. If you had told me like a year or two ago that they were going to make a Top Gun movie and I would be super excited, I would have said no, no, and no. But based on the footage alone, I'm like, yes, yes, and yes. Like, it's unbelievable. Marvel's Eternals.
Yes, that's a good one.
Okay.
Down at CCXP, again, CCXP, they showed us raw footage from the camera, and it looks unlike any Marvel movie I've seen. I was like blown away by the footage, just completely blown away. The reason Marvel is because of Eternals. You have King Jack Kirby, his work coming to life. You have footage that looks unlike any other Marvel movie. Couldn't be more excited. I had Bill and Ted 3, the Kingsmen. I love that franchise. I love that it's going back in time. I love Matthew Vaughn. Last Night in Soho, the new Edgar Wright.
Yes.
Yes.
Edgar has not made a bad movie.
Yes.
He is flawless. So anything he does needs to be like a national holiday. And the fact that he has a new movie coming out, couldn't be more excited. I think that's basically some of the highlights. But I mean, you mentioned Dune and stuff, but look, the other thing, the movies that I think I'm most excited for are the ones that are not on my radar. The ones that are going to come out of nowhere and just like completely surprise you. You know, like, is the Chicago 7, the Aaron Sorkin movie, is that going to, I think it's being filmed, and I think it's coming out later this year. I think it's wrapped, actually. Like, an Aaron Sorkin movie. Like, how can you not be excited? So anyway, there's a lot of movies that I'm excited for.
No, I agree, especially because we did have such a great year of movies, 2019. So I think it seems like Hollywood is changing a little bit and updating itself in a good way. And so I'm hoping that's what we get for 2020. I'm obviously excited about Tenet, which we talked about. If I want to do more franchise stuff, I'm pretty curious to see Soul. The new Pixar movie, just because it's an interesting concept, and I feel like it could be another Inside Out. You know that I haven't been as big of a fan of the latest Disney Pixar movies, but I hope we go back to that. So I just hope that basically we go into the theater and they all make us cry.
If I can actually say something real quick, I'm also looking forward to Onward, which is the Pixar
Onward,
movie.
that's right.
They showed a lot of footage at, again, CCXP, and I was ready to cry in the theater. Like, there's some beautiful stuff.
Right.
So Pixar's Onward really was good. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. I'm excited for that as well. Another franchise too that I'm excited to see, a trilogy, is the new Conjuring movie. Because I really like that trilogy.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
You go. Of course you did. We're such horror
I'm happy
nerds
you brought
here.
it up.
Yeah, I had to. I
Wait,
think that
you guys are excited for horror movies.
I know.
Never.
It's so weird, right? It's so bizarre. I think it could be really good. It's one of the few sort of new trilogies that are original that scared me, because growing up Catholic Mexican, being scared of possession, all that stuff, so it really freaked me out. I loved it.
The story that they're basing the new installment on is super rich. I really do think that could be insanely cinematic, and I'm excited for Michael Chaves. Admittedly, I wouldn't have been bummed to hear that James Wan was completing his trilogy, but after seeing La Llorona, I didn't love the script in that movie, but I did love his style, and I thought he probably had a great working relationship with his actors, because I thought he brought the most out of all of them. So he really could be a good pairing with The Conjuring 3 if I can't get James Wan again. So I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, no, and I hope it's kind of like the Paranormal Activities of the world, where it's the third one is the best one, So especially with the concept you're talking about, and everybody being such a big fan of murder documentaries. I don't know what's wrong with you people.
The true crime craze right now.
Exactly.
It's a real thing.
And I guess the last one I would say that I'm excited, that I want to be excited about more so than I don't know how it's going to actually turn out is the new Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for this movie. I want it to be good. I'm a big fan of the original franchise. Wasn't a huge fan of the last one, so I hope this is much better.
That trailer looked good too.
It really
That
does.
trailer
They released
worked
a trailer
me.
for Ghostbusters?
Oh,
did.
Steve.
Shut up,
Wait,
Steve.
did you watch it? I actually couldn't tell if you really watched it or not.
I didn't. No, but I'm really looking
Oh, I
forward.
thought you like knew a spoiler. I was like, do not tell me.
No, Jason Reitman is a really good filmmaker, and I would argue he's underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think enough people appreciate his work. And if anyone is gonna I really believe he's gonna. There's no way to take on his dad's thing.
Agreed.
The only way he's gonna have done it is if he had an idea, something that he had to do. So
Yeah.
I have complete faith it's gonna be good.
I just
And,
want
and a lot of the cast is returning. So.
Yes, that's always a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
3 titles that I've actually already seen that I think everyone should keep an eye out for. Saint Maud, I think you would really like that. That was a movie that I caught at TIFF. I believe A24 picked it up for release. We also have a movie called The
A24.
Platform coming out on Netflix. I don't know when next year, but we already reviewed The Platform on an episode of Movie Talk, and that concept, one of the most genius concepts I've seen in a while, a completely original thing. And not that they're going to do this, but I think it would be so easy to franchise that idea. But that movie is exceptionally well done. And one of my favorite movies that I saw too many times in 2019 was The Lodge. And then when they bumped The Lodge from a late 2019 release date to 2020, I was all upset because it would have been very close to making my top 10 of 2019. So that's one to look forward to as well. Before we say goodbye, let's hit 2 Twitter questions right now. You guys ready for it?
Ready.
This one is from Nick Field, who's asking, is 2020 the year another studio dethrones Disney at the box office? You could argue Warner Brothers has the stronger overall slate.
As somebody who loves V for Vendetta, I hope Disney doesn't do as good. Is that bad to say?
You could say whatever you want.
No, I don't want anyone or anything to fail in their goals, because obviously no matter, even big corporations are still, making jobs for people. So of course I don't want anything to fail, but I also don't like monopolies. So, I hope that there's an opportunity for other companies to shine this year.
That was a very good follow-up there.
There you go.
I don't fully know off the top of my head Disney's lineup for the year, but I will say that it is absolutely not their 2019 lineup, because the 2019 lineup was something out of a surreal dream. I mean, you have all these live action remakes. They basically released everything. They had Frozen 2. They have Star Wars. They already broke 10 billion at the global box office.
Lion King, Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, Lady and the Tramp was Disney Plus, but
Oh, that's right. Are
Disney's,
you Disney-splaining me, Steve?
No.
Oh, I like that.
I don't think Disney's going to have a really tough time repeating this year's box office in any future year. Also because we're going to have the trajectory of the box office going down for the foreseeable future.
And we didn't even mention Marvel. Endgame and all
that's
that.
what I'm.
Yeah.
No,
are you talking specifically about Disney?
Yeah,
Or
I'm
the
saying,
whole-
look, basically Disney had a freak year this year in terms of they had so many films that were so huge. I don't know what the future holds, but I don't think Warner Brothers has the IP to take out Disney.
Right.
I think, I heard that. And I think that Disney next year, because they own Pixar and Marvel and live action, and I think Disney's going to be number 1 next year.
I think it's hard to beat.
Or let me rephrase, this year.
I think it's hard to
Happy New Year.
beat Disney just because they have so much too. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. Even when you take an Endgame out of the equation, they still have so many more blockbuster movies than all of the other studios. That does lead into the second Twitter question I grabbed here from Admiral Jack Barr, who writes, that's great. There is no clear movie that is the front runner for being the highest grossing film of 2020. Unlike previous years, if you had to predict the film to make the most money next year, what film would it be and how much? We covered a similar story on Movie Talk back last year in December, because I believe Deadline wrote a piece. I think it was Deadline. I hope I'm not miscrediting now, but they wrote a piece about how Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker could be one of the last movies until 2021 to cross 450 million plus at the global box office when it debuts. There's nothing on the calendar for next year that is looking to go down that path. The only thing that they point out in that article that I agree with, that I think has the closest shot, is the new Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, that's a good one. What company is
Universal.
that? Oh, there you go.
But that really is, unless something, pops out of nowhere, and who knows what can happen. I think that brand-wise, that's the one that can do it.
Look at what happened with Joker, right? Like that was a huge surprise for a lot of people. I was very happy about it because I was one of the people that loved it, right? So I hope we get something like that. What if it happens with Birds of Prey? It's completely possible. It's not going to be another Star Wars. It's not going to be another Avengers movie. I think. But
I think what she's saying though is like, and what the article is saying is, like a $400 million global box office weekend, Birds of Prey can't do that.
Yeah.
It's never going to touch that number. And I know what you mean.
Like right out the gate too.
Yeah.
But do you think any movie that's coming out is going to do that? Because I'm trying to think and I just don't see it.
I think it's going to be a very, very unlikely thing to happen in 2020. I think we'll be having that discussion more so maybe in 2021, but I don't even think I could make that prediction this far in advance when we don't know what the state of the box office is going to be by then.
Right. Yeah, I don't see a movie in 2020 that can do 450 at the global box office opening weekend. I think that there's a number of movies that can do.
You don't think Wonder Woman could do it?
450?
Yeah.
That's a.
Well, how much money did the original Wonder Woman make?
Worldwide, by the end of its global run, it was somewhere in the 800s.
Okay. Right, but the sequel for Wonder Woman is going to be massive.
That's
like
what I
there's
mean.
no, and also I believe it's the thing that Wonder Woman has that's so different than a typical blockbuster, and people don't really realize it, is that so typically they finish a movie like Cats was finished a day before the world premiere,
Yes,
5 days before release.
Indeed it was, can confirm.
Right. So, but then you have other movies that get finished. The reason why very close to release, within a month, the reason why marketing for movies gets better and better as it gets closer to release is they're getting finished VFX shots that they can then use in these trailers, which is why the last Godzilla movie looked so much better as the final trailer came out. What Wonder Woman 1984 has, which is unlike any major movie, the movie's done. VFX shots are finished. I'm about to run, there's an article on Collider that is the Patty Jenkins Gal Gadot interview that I did, and they talked about how the movie is finished. So we're talking 5-6 months before release. So now they can craft trailers on final VFX shots and they they have it all. So they can craft trailers to sell the movie in the best possible way for
Where the
months.
CG is not going to look crappy because post-production has already started so early on.
It's done.
Right.
All the VFX shots are done. So you have a global day and date because it's completely finished and you can release it with dialects and subtitles and whatever. So Wonder Woman 1984 has a real chance of making a ton of money as a global debut. I would say that has one of the highest possibilities because people love her. It's a superhero movie, but I don't know if it can do 450.
It's 450 is tough. Just to end this on a little bit of a positive note, because we've been so happy and looking forward to all the wonderful things to come in 2020 before the doom and gloom starts. It's not going to. I'm rooting for everything to succeed. What do you guys think is going to be the thing at the box office that just pops? I'm not talking necessarily about 450 global weekend of release. I'm thinking about, something that maybe we're looking forward to now, but could really crush it in the long run. Because the first thing that came to my mind was In the Heights.
Ooh.
Oh, you're talking about something like under the radar.
Something, I mean, not that In the Heights is that under the radar, but it's not considered, the next Marvel movie, Star Wars movie, DC movie. It's, but I think it's got a good chance of really just like capturing the hearts of so many people out there.
That's a great trailer. That actually, I as a huge fan, surprising to all my goth fans. I don't have any fans. My mom, though. I think that I love musicals, and I feel like that's one of the musicals that I like, but I don't love the music as much. And I saw the trailer and actually got really excited. I think it looks beautiful.
Which music do you like more, the Cats music or the In the Heights music?
That's a tough one. I'm not a huge
really?
fan of the Cats music.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up Cats every opportunity I get. I don't care if it's not a 2020 movie. It's coming with us.
I could see maybe Top Gun doing pretty well, right? I mean, everybody's going to go see that. Steve's going to see that.
Yeah, listen, I mean, any Marvel movie is going to do really well. You could just put the Marvel logo in front of something and people are going. So I don't think Marvel counts because all those movies do well. And I think all the superhero movies do well because that's the most popular genre on the planet right now. I really think that Nolan's Tenet is going to be one of the highest of the year because it's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be original, and people love original, well done action movies that they've like. I mean, it looks like, from what I understand, it could be like Nolan's Bond, if you will. You know, like that kind of a thing.
Which was going to be my other option. Like, what about No Time to Die?
Listen, I couldn't be more excited for that movie, and it almost made my list, and I forgot to write it down on my sheet of paper to bring it up. But I'm a huge Daniel Craig fan as Bond. I think he's amazing in it.
He's my favorite Bond.
Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. And I think that I'm really optimistic about it. I know there was a lot of work on that screenplay, and so many people had a crack at it. And God, I just want it to be good.
Yes, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, man.
She's one of the people.
She's
High
great.
hopes.
Yes.
High hopes, optimism all around on this very first day of the new year. Steve, Dorina, thank you so much for being here. And same to Adam in the booth. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful day continuing to celebrate. You guys have no idea what's coming your way on Collider in 2020. We have so many cool things brewing. We can't wait to share all the plans with you, but you got to hold out on that right now. But don't leave this video without liking and sharing it, and then tune in tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. PT for a brand new live edition of Movie Talk.
Happy New Year.